Today, we're exploring a huge shift in Islamic history, the move from the Quran to the Hadith.
And this is the core question behind the book From Quranic Islam to Hadith Islam. In the very beginning, the Prophet Muhammad would wait for divine revelation to answer questions.
See, his role was as a messenger, not a lawmaker. He'd wait for the Quran's guidance,
and it was only after he admitted, "I do not know," that a new revelation came down with the answer.
But after the Prophet's death, everything changed. The faith just exploded across the map.
This massive expansion brought in new people, new cultures, and a ton of new problems.
Suddenly you had all these questions that the Quran didn't have explicit answers for.
So to fill that legal gap, a whole new source of authority appeared, the Hadith.
The Hadith became like a second revelation. But this sparked a brand new debate.
Basically, two camps formed, one that used reason and one that stuck strictly to the text.
Then Imam Shafi's work really solidified the Hadith's authority, giving the text-based schools an edge.
But a huge problem popped up. As more traditions were collected, you found conflicting hadiths.
For example, one hadith says flat out, fairies don't exist.
But then another one tells a whole story about the Prophet talking to a fairy. So, which is it?
The school of text had a simple solution. Just submit to the text. No questions asked.
The book argues this led to a paralysis of reason. You just weren't allowed to question it.
And this idea was incredibly popular. We're talking an estimated 2.5 million people at one leader's funeral.
This victory, the author argues, was the decisive shift from Quranic Islam to Hadith Islam.
And this had massive long-term consequences for law, thought, and Islamic civilization.
This quote really sums up the author's whole argument about what was lost in this transformation.
It leaves you wondering, when a tradition evolves, what's gained and what gets left behind?